Okay, so my connection with the world of Mexican Americans is that my grandma came from Mexico when she was 17 years old to be an actress, actually, in silent pictures. Her name is Lupita Tovar, and she was known as La Novia de Mexico. So in spite of the fact that I look like a white boy, you know, I have a Mexican background. I've always felt very connected there. But even if I didn't have that, you know, my father was a Jewish immigrant from Germany. And so the movie meant a lot to me because as a son of an immigrant father, who I didn't understand all the time, whose sacrifices I didn't always understand, you know, this movie meant a lot to me. And as someone who lives in Los Angeles, I'm really grateful to the contribution of Mexican Americans and also Mexican immigrants, whether documented or undocumented, who make everybody's lives easier, who make this city work and this country work. So that's why I was invested in the movie. So when I was doing A Better Life, I approached Father Boyle to get to know East Los Angeles a bit better, and also to get a little more familiar with the issue of gangs in East Los Angeles. And we were casting the parts of gang members in the movie, and went through kind of the usual channels, which is to say, you know, actors came in and auditioned in the normal kind of way, but I got the sense that we were seeing actors who were playing versions of gangsters from movies. And in some cases, it was people who'd done this kind of part over and over again and didn't really feel right. So we decided to kind of take a chance, and I spoke to Hector Verdugo and to Father Boyle at Homeboys, and we just thought maybe on the off chance we could see some of the guys who were going through the program at Homeboy Industries about whether they might be right for these parts. So that's how I met Richard. And I mean, you could tell kind of from the moment he walked into the room that this guy was somebody you wanted to watch on film, that he was an actor. There was a kind of a natural, magnetic quality to him. And needless to say, he kind of knew the life. So you felt on screen instantly this is somebody who knew what he was talking about. It felt really authentic. Of course, you know, that's not a world that I'm really familiar with. So when you cast a part like that, if it's somebody who knows that that mindset, that world, you feel a lot better about trusting somebody to play that part. And I felt with Richard, you know, we were able to talk through how the character would say things and where he was coming from. And so I felt a lot more assured about how realistic the character was going to be. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess if I thought about it conceptually beforehand, I might think like, you know, what's going to happen with a guy who's, you know, been in jail and who hasn't done a lot of acting in front of a camera before. But actually, the thing is, and one of the great things about Homeboy Industries is that once you meet people sort of face to face, you're just dealing with another human being. And the preconceptions that you have about what they're going to be like as a person, based upon what you've heard in the media about gang members, or about crime, or about East Los Angeles, that all kind of falls away. And you're in a different kind of relationship, which is a director and an actor and trying to get them to give you a terrific performance. And then it's the same as with any other actor. It's like, you know, have they thought about this part? Well, yeah, Richard had. You know, are they able to convey the emotions of the character? What kind of impression are they going to make? And that all worked out perfectly for me. And you know, I'm friends with Richard, and you know, went to a baseball game a while ago. I've been to see him perform on stage, and whatever sort of notions I had about what he might be like were totally transformed. You know, the interesting thing to do with Homeboys is that there are guys from rival gangs who are working there together, and I think that causes friction at first. But when we were shooting, we had guys who were playing gang members or working as extras or whatever, who were from different gangs or had been in different gangs, and we were shooting in what is sort of technically Big Hazard. There are these guys with tattoos that show that they belonged to a different gang or whatever. That would have concerned me otherwise, but actually everything was just cool. I think people are really happy to have the chance not to feel tensed up about where they're from or how they can relate to other people, except on just a normal level. Richard was super professional, and I think that unlike a lot of young actors who are used to sort of getting parts and who have been through the whole system over and over again, he realized that like this was kind of a great but strange opportunity. I think he was, on the one hand, he was really excited to do it. On the other hand, he clearly knew what he was doing, kind of down to the bones. So I wouldn't really say he was nervous about it. I think he's been through a lot more that's scarier than being in front of a camera. So that's a great thing. He didn't have to deal with nerves, and I think also his knowing a lot about the world in which this movie was set helped maintain a kind of a serious attitude amongst, say, the younger actors who were playing with him, that they knew, okay, this is the kind of movie we're in. We're in the kind of movie where we are going to represent gang members as human beings and not as stereotypes. I think it's a balance of directing him so that we get what we need for the movie as a whole, and then trying to appreciate that he's a resource, and that if he says, I wouldn't say this line this way, or this is not what we say in East LA, then to listen to him. And we generally did that with all of the characters, but with Richard I was especially happy because not only is he a great guy and it was fun to work with him, but also I felt like we had somebody who really knew the world, so that I could ask him questions about whether he would act in a particular way. I think one of the great things is that we were able to show that, like, a gang member, just because someone's a gang member doesn't mean that they are kind of thugging 24/7. These are people who have families and cousins and nieces and mothers and fathers, and so to sort of treat it like any other character, really. Well, Richard's a natural. You just encounter this with people when they get in front of a camera or not. They're either pretty much at ease, and you feel like you'd like to watch this person on a film screen, or you don't feel that, and it's actually kind of random. You never know when that's going to happen, and like I say, you kind of get that feeling when somebody walks into the room the first time. So Richard is really charismatic. He's not afraid of the camera, and he's watchable. He's consistently interesting. Of course, he's got a tremendous amount of energy too. So, it's great as a director to encounter an actor like that. It just helps your job so much. I would say that well, this is true like with any actor. Let's say people want you to succeed. Nobody's looking to knock you down. It's like when you sit down off as an actor, you want them to be the right person for the part. So there's a lot of I think for actors, for really anybody trying out something creatively, there's a tremendous amount of stress and nerves when you're putting yourself out there. But people want you to succeed. This is certainly as an actor, you know, I'm always hoping to find somebody great. Well, I mean, just getting to know Richard over the last few years, I've been consistently kind of amazed at how he's transformed himself, and how much there is to him, all the things that he's interested in. You know, like I saw him a while ago and he said he'd just been in Spain working on a Ridley Scott movie, and I felt like, oh man, that's so cool, because he can go anywhere. You know, in a way, of course you want to say stuff like, you know, I'm proud of you, and I can sort of say that because I cast him in a movie and he did great, so I asked him to do something and he was fantastic. But really it's more like, you know, thanks for helping my movie, and it's so great to get to know you. It's more like that. I'm just happy to see where he's going. I put in work.